YouTube, another bass day. I know 2 basses in a week, but hey. So this is, I just borrowed this, fixing a guitar for my pal up the road, Bob, who makes awesome burgers, by the way. That's what I should have put the picture up of the burgers I made myself last night. I made beef burgers. Oh, did you? So I made some pure turbo burgers. Yeah, so this is a Washburn SBFB 30. I have seen the SBF 30s before, which is basically the guitar version of this. There's also a really cool, which I've not bought yet. I keep seeing them, and it just there's a Telecaster model of guitar, which is like white, got a pointy headstock, and it's got, you know, the piezo pickup, because Washburn kind of, I don't know if they invented the undersaddle bridge, but they were certainly very near the start of the whole piezo thing. All your MTV unplugs and stuff, they're all using Washburns, not necessarily solid bodies. This is a solid body, although it does have a sort of circle bit there, which to make it kind of look a bit acousticy. So it's just a piezo pickup, an active circuit, so you get a treble and a bass, or a bass and a treble. I've not got that way yet. This isn't really in for anything, but action's kind of quite high. I think that this bridge kind of really wants to be cut down a bit. Which, I mean, I can handle the high action. It's just when you go up to the intonation, which is just to do with slightly high action. That's actually quite nice. Something not quite right there. Seems very well built though. But so I looked this up. He talked to my pal who's a bit of a Washburn expert, and then he sent me some pictures going, here it is in the catalogue, and he showed me a completely different bass. Not this one. This is a solid body one, not the one you get. One, the more common one. It's not this model, but from this sort of era, it's got like stripy looking sound holes in here, but it's a very similar type of guitar. They might be hollow though. So this is a solid body. There's no serial numbers, but I'm guessing it's a Samick built Korean thing, and it's an acoustic-ish bass. To be honest, if I would have been building this, I would have been more likely to, because it's solid anyway, I would probably have put a P-bass pickup in it if I was designing it. Anyway, seeing as you're already in there, maybe there's something wrong with the EQ. I wouldn't have liked it. So this is basically the start of this video. I'm going to stitch a couple of videos together. I think I'm going to go out to the garage. I'm just going to take the bridge saddle out and just take off a few mil just to try and bring it down. It's sitting there. Where's my steel ruler? It's not there. I think this thing has measurements on it, doesn't it? No, this is the one that actually tells you what a bass is meant to be. So on a bass, actually the 6th string should be 2 to 2.5 millimeters, and this one is. Where's the thing with millimeters? Millimeters. So 2 to 2.5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 millimeters. So it's basically twice the action that it should be on it. The only other thing I could find about this bass was it was the original reverb ad, and it was by some guy a bit like me, a guy who's got a really annoying music playing in the background. It's really quite loud while he's talking. So I just. Kind of, I don't know, fairground music, obviously just YouTube unlicensed stuff. It was quite a slog to watch it, but so I was kind of annoyed because this has been set up and worked on by somebody, and it's like it's nobody. That's a hell of an action. I'm kind of wondering if I'm opening up a whole can of worms. I mean, I'm not meant to be doing this. I'm meant to just be. You guys, do you want to shut of it so you can do a video? Because I know you like Washburns. It's like, yeah, great. It's kind of annoying me. It's just the action's fine, but it's the fact that it's out of tune just because the action's so high. The neck has maybe slightly too much relief in it, but it's not bad. You know, bass is kind of, you want to have a bit of relief in the neck. So I think I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to basically go out and belt sand a bit off this saddle. So see, it's like. Also, that's hell of a noise. It doesn't. I don't know if you can hear the buzzing, don't know if it's coming through, but that's quite buzzy. I may have a wee look at the electrics. It sounds like something's not earthed, although you can't. Ah, right, so, well, there you go. So you can't earth the strings. Yes, you can. That's what that metal bit's for. I noticed that actually, it's like, rather than just being a wooden bit, there's actually a piece of brass that this sits into, so I think there should be an earth wire going to that, which would earth the strings, because if I touched it at the output jack, buzz gone, buzz back, buzz gone, so I might have to add, I don't know how I'm going to add an earth wire, because obviously I can't unbolt the bridge. So yeah, so, but it does sound pretty good. Turn the tone off. It's actually kind of overloading the amp a little bit. I should obviously be playing through a PA rather than the bass amp the way it's set up. But that buzzing, I kind of almost want to be wearing shorts so I can put the jack lead onto my thigh and I would earth it. Yeah, so I will talk about this more, but I'm going to have to go away and have a wee look and see what one, the buzzing, two, I need to get the action down. It's too high. It's just too high. It's just too high for the intonation. So I will see you in the next part of the video right now. Not now. Now. Right, it's 2 hours later. Yeah, so it appears to be buzzing an awful lot less. But when you touch the strings, it goes completely away. Yeah, so I took the bridge out, took it to bits, took out this metal bar here, drilled a hole through, stuck an earth wire going all the way through from the bridge so the strings are now earthed. Took out the bridge and it had been packed up with wee bits of plastic. I don't know, I don't want to badmouth anyone, but let's just assume that the guy who did the video of this exact bass on the reverb advert wasn't the guy selling it. So in that case it's fine. But I kind of normally class myself as a little bit of a cowboy sometimes. Like if you're buying a Buckycaster bass or a guitar off me, maybe you'll find that some of the screws are black and some of them are silver. Or like one of the tuners maybe isn't exactly the same as the other 6 tuners or something. But everything is solid. Not the case with this. It'd been bodged and at the price it was a rip-off basically. Now it's fine. I didn't actually get asked to fix this. I've now got the action down from, what was it, 4.5mm down to 2, so it's now acceptable. It's now in tuned. So it goes da da, it doesn't go da da. So that was just purely down to the action being wrong. The bridge was also split, so I glued that back together again. Yeah, so a little bit annoying, but it's just goes to show it doesn't, even if you spend big bucks, and it's like, you know, this guitar had a video and stuff of someone who had like a proper workbench and all the tools. Doesn't necessarily mean they know what they're doing. I don't have a proper workbench or the tools, you know. Some of my, you've seen what the tools I use, when, you know, some of my favourite tools is this, which is a dart, you know, this, which is old toenail clippers, you know. It's like, used correctly, doesn't matter whether you've got the Stumax stuff if you don't know what it is you're doing. So now it's now it doesn't buzz like a madman. It doesn't, to be honest, it doesn't seem to be buzzing as much as it was earlier. So what I did was I drilled a hole through the back, which was an absolute pig, trying to drill a hole through the middle of this wooden block because the drill wasn't long enough, so I had to use the Dremel, and the Dremel doesn't really like being a drill. It's not what it is. You've got a drill bit in it, so it's like kind of so it was like 10 minutes to drill the hole, and I basically ran a guitar string through the body. So it's a guitar string running through there, down there, and down, and then soldered onto the output jack. Not that it really needed to be soldered on, because it's actually touching the braided cable for the piezo all the way around anyway, so even if it did come off the output jack, it doesn't matter, it's getting earthed onto the casing for the piezo. It does, to be honest, that does seem like a bit of a mistake, a manufacturing mistake, not having an earth wire on it, because there wasn't a hole there. It's not like there wasn't an earth wire missing, there wasn't any place to put one. So I don't know. I mean, this obviously wasn't a huge selling base, seeing as I've only ever seen no other ones. The only one I could find was the advert, the one for the video for the advert for this exact one. You can tell that because it's got a wee bit of a dent there, unless the other one, unless they all come with a wee dent there. So we've got a volume, a treble, and a bass. I'm just going into my bass amp. I've not adjusted any of the settings on the bass amp, so it's just basically the way I always play. So it's quite sharp. So basically I was just cutting the treble all the way off, and it's still very very twangy. I did actually have my acoustic out. The first time I've played it in the month that I was meant to play it. I was going to swap for it, but I can't really be bored doing that. So is it still in the? No, the amp's not on. Yeah, so that was recorded a couple of minutes ago. So I have no idea what chords I was playing. I can't remember what chords it was I was playing, and this doesn't put me. It just moved. It has. It's crunked down. That's what's going on. Also, the tuners, see on the tops of most normal tuners, there's a wee screw on the end there. That wee screw there, that tightens up how geared they are. These were wobbly as hell. Like, when I took the strings off, you could literally probably just blow them round. So you tighten up these screws. That's another one of the things, whoever it was, I've just touched it. It doesn't help things when they move. So they're now much better. So really what I want to do is, I don't really know what the point is a little bit in like in an acoustic bass. It does sound acoustic-y, I suppose. But I want much more bass, much less twank, and that's so if you turn the treble up and the bass down, kind of sounds like it's a phased guitar. So I kind of turn the treble down, and I want to just find a bass and go woomph, and turn the treble and go woomph. Oh yeah. Also, I used to have an acoustic bass, and I just ran it with normal strings, and then one time, they were cheap actually on eBay, I saw acoustic bass strings. I'll give them a go. What a difference that made! If you've got an acoustic bass strings, yeah, it's kind of like the same actually in an acoustic guitar. If you put electric strings on an acoustic guitar, I know that there's a slight difference in the fact that the G string is wound in an acoustic, but the actual, what they're for is different, and they do, electric strings on an acoustic don't work. Well, they do sort of, I suppose, if you want, I like to play it and not really ever hit it, but when you're battering it, the proper phosphor bronze or the nickel bronze, whatever they are, the acoustic strings are way, way better than electric strings for an acoustic guitar. So it's kind of the same with the bass as well. But it's more a sound thing, isn't it? I just keep thinking, like, my original gripe with the acoustic bass was thinking, wow, that means that when, you know, you're around and everyone's just playing acoustic stuff, you can play an acoustic bass and it's the equivalent. And it's like, you can, yes, but you need an amp. Acoustic basses are not loud enough to play along with an acoustic guitar without an amp. And if you're going to take an amp, you start thinking, well, why don't I just take a P bass or something, or you know, go for a slightly small, you know, like a 32-inch P bass or something like that. Which, because acoustic basses are big things, you know, it's like, it's actually probably even arguably easier to carry, you know, like a real bass and a wee amp than it is to carry just an acoustic bass, which is huge, you know, it's like that thick. But after, obviously, got a bad vibe about this now myself a little bit, but I mean, it's actually pretty good. It definitely feels quite high quality. It's like one of your high-end Samics. I don't know what a high-end Samic would cost these days. What, £1,000? Something stupid. You know, they did know what they were doing after Hondo got their guitar, spent their year getting guitars made by Matsumoku and by Tokai, and then copying them how they are constructed. They then knew how to make guitars. Now this must be early 90s, maybe, something like that. But I really do think Washburn have done something. So they've screwed up, because they were quite big in the 70s, or the late 70s, early 80s, when they were doing the Washburn Wings, you know, with it, like proper people playing them. Andy Summers and the Police and John Fogerty and Nazareth and Whitesnake and all that, using the Washburn Wings. Yeah, totally. They were a proper, you know, you see them on Top of the Pops band. And then when it got to sort of the later 80s, once they stopped making them in Japan, they tended to be as good, but they had their acoustic things, so the MTV Unplugged things, they're all playing Washburn acoustics, because they were the ones that did the good acoustics. And now, you don't, they still exist, but they've got no name. I don't know if maybe just publicity. Do people maybe just go, oh, but it doesn't say Fender on it. I don't know behind that. Like, it says Fender Squire by Fender, but it says Fender on it, so I think there might be a bit of that in it. I mean, I don't really know that much about any modern Washburns. You see them sometimes, but I mean, not a lot at all. And even in the Super Strat era, you know, the sort of early 90s, they were, you see them quite a lot. They're not really my thing, but I mean, they were obviously selling quite a lot. I wonder if maybe, I don't know if they get bought out by someone, or maybe somebody was just too into making money and not into making a quality product, which I suppose, let's just be honest here, Fender and Gibson did that for the 70s and some of the 80s, where it was like, yes, well, we're building the Fender Stratocaster, yes, people will buy it, right, let's make it really good. Oh, but we don't, but we can make it for half the price and still sell it for the same amount. Oh, let's do that then. So they did that for most of the 70s. That's where your Ibanez and Westone and all that came in, because they were starting going like that. Hold on, we can make better guitars than that. And it's like, they're not really, money wise, obviously not. But I mean, you're trying to argue, like, you know, a Westone Thunder, you put that up against like a Gibson or a Fender, it's a better guitar. It cost a quarter as much to buy, but not worth any money now. You know, it's like, no, it doesn't say Gibson Les Paul on it. Jimmy Page didn't play one of them. It must be shit. And then now you've got I look up the forums, and the forums like, what do you think of this guitar? Oh, it's really good. Oh, it's brilliant. All right, cool. So how long have you had it? Oh, I don't have one. Right. Okay. How about all the forums say it's amazing? Ho ho. Bit of a rant there. We're gonna try that rhythm track again. See if we can remember what. could definitely sound much better. Basically all I did there with the EQ on the amp was turn up the bass from half to sort of 3/4, or not even 3/4, and turn down the treble from half to about down to over a quarter. So I just kind of turn the bass up a bit and turn the treble down a bit, and now seems to sound a bit like a bass. Plays really well. Does have a little bit of zing to it. You've got that. So it does have an acoustic sound to it because it is acoustic. I still think if I was, well, if I designed this from the start, I was Washburn, I would have put fucking earth wire in, most definitely, so it didn't buzz. The thing is, you can't really hear it buzzing because I've got to mute the strings. It's definitely not buzzing as much as it was. Maybe the earth wire somehow. See, I was in messed about with the soldering. I wondered if there was a couple of solder points that didn't look very good, so I just, while I was in there with the soldering iron, I just beefed them up a bit. So a bit of a curiosity. So if you're on the internet looking up and you've got one of these, then you've got the only other one I've ever seen. And it seems pretty cool. I like it. I would have liked it more if I didn't have to do that work. I can't charge for that work either because I wasn't. There's Bob's Burgers. That was he made them. He's a butcher, or used to be a butcher, and his wife got him a mincing machine for Christmas. He was like, I made these burgers, and I was like, we're out at the car. I was like, oh, burgers, all right, cool. I'll maybe knock a pound or two off your bill when I fix your Hofner. He was like, hold on a minute, and I got a couple of burgers off him. So on the way back, I bought rolls, just little rolls, and bacon. So the burger consists of a Bob burger, wee bit of Orkney cheese, 2 bits of bacon, raw onion, fried onion, spiced onion, iceberg lettuce, garlic mayonnaise, and a wee bit of whole grain mustard. And I should have made one, not two. Made the first one, had to have a wee break for 5 minutes. Managed to eat the second one, had to have a wee sleep. But excellent. Possibly the best burger I've ever had. Something like that. Certainly enough for me to sit there and go like that. This is maybe the best burger I've ever had. I spent a couple of minutes trying to think of the best burger I've ever had, and I couldn't really think of what it was. So it very well could be. So cheers, Bob, and sorry for another bass video this week. Well, technically it's an acoustic in it, not a bass. Well, it's acoustic and a bass. My pal Wayne still got his he had an acoustic bass, which actually I liked, but I didn't take it off him. He didn't want very much for it. It was I think it was a didnt, but this thing was huge. It was about this thick, and it was absolutely massive. And because it was so big, it was actually kind of loud enough to play along with an acoustic, as long as you don't have an idiot absolutely battering away at chords on a dreadnought. You know, you could batter away on my wee Gretsch, and this thing would be able to keep up with it. I wonder if he still got it. Maybe buy it off him, because download's coming up. So I'm going back down to Leicester for download. And if you still got that bass. So this would be fantastic for your MTV Unplugged. I mean, to be honest, if I was doing an Unplugged gig and I was playing the bass, I maybe wouldn't play something that looked like this, but something like that, like a wood-coloured bass. I think you get away with that at an acoustic. Sort of. It's not acoustic, but yeah, enough talking. ribble rabble, and I'll stitch these two videos together. Hope I can manage to get it together in time. So it might be a little bit late tonight, because actually the plan was I was going to quickly do this video, and then I was going to go on to fixing guitars but actually it turned out to be I was going to spend today fixing this guitar. Rock on, and I'll catch you all later.